Hey guys, it's been a while since my last video, and while I don't have anything to update my collection, I did have something I wanted to discuss and talk about. Now, recently, my girlfriend came over and we decided to watch a movie. Lots of options, so what was it going to be? So I said, hey, you know what? Let's take a walk on the wild side and let's watch something a little extreme. So I brought out some options, and I didn't go too crazy because there's some stuff out there that I'm like, probably not a good idea for a nice date night. I'm not breaking out Serbian film for date night. But I did grab some pretty controversial titles, and surprise, surprise, she chose the most controversial one. Um, Now, I've seen it before, but she had never seen it. And we watched Cannibal Holocaust. This movie is a doozy. Now, there's lots of different releases. I have a DVD back there, but this is the Blu-ray edition by Grindhouse Releasing. It's a 3-disc deluxe edition. It's got 2 Blu-rays and a CD, so you get the soundtrack too. Um, Now, let's talk about the history of this film, just in case anyone watching doesn't know. This movie was banned and censored heavily throughout the world. If you were in the UK, it no doubt was part of the video nasties. And the reason behind it, the main reason, was because the actors who appeared in this film had to sign a contract that after the movie was released, they wouldn't make any kind of public appearances. So people legitimately thought this was a snuff film. Now, watching it today, especially on Blu-ray or there's probably a 4K out there somewhere, you can definitely tell it's a little fake. But back then, all people had to watch was like an old VHS or something, so it probably looked kind of real. And considering the subject matter of the movie, it does get increasingly more uh, upsetting as you go along. Now, they did go to court because they had to appear in court and say, "Hey, look, this is how we did the effects." The most one of the most famous effects is the girl with like the pole shoved through her, and they said, "Hey, she sits on a bicycle seat. We put the prop in her mouth. Boom, movie magic." The one thing they couldn't explain, however, and got them into a lot of hot water was the animal cruelty. There are multiple scenes in the movie where they just flat out kill or show animals being killed, sometimes by other animals. Um, but the most hard to stomach scene is the turtle scene, which I'm not going to go into detail, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is. I still think to this day it's probably one of the worst scenes in movie history, uh, because it is real, and that's just upsetting in its own right. Nowadays with the internet, you can just accidentally see shit like that on the regular, and we're not here to talk about the internet. But anyways, so I wanted her to see this movie, but I said, you know what? She doesn't need to see that turtle scene. She doesn't need to see all that excessive animal violence because does it really add anything to the movie? And honestly, after watching, because this does have an animal cruelty free version, after watching it without the animal cruelty, I gotta say it still holds up as quite the brutal film. And if you're familiar with this film, this is one of the first instances of a found footage movie. Um, that genre would not be popularized till the 90s when Blair Witch came out, which, yeah, right over here. Yeah, Blair Witch Project. Great movie. I love this movie. A lot of people think it's boring, but you just got to pay attention. Um, so, yeah, this is the one that popularized found footage movies. But this is, by all accounts, a found footage movie. Because the professor in the first half of the movie, these 4 college kids are missing. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the jungles where they went and find out what happened to them." And the first half of the movie sets it up. He's trying to find this village of these tree people. I can't remember what their name is. And when he gets there, finally, he sees bones. He sees, like, oh, there's the lighter, there's the watch, here's the cameras and the film. So eventually, he gets the film, takes it to New York, and they're trying to splice together some sort of documentary or something in these people's honor. Um, I'm assuming. I think they assume that they're dead, or they know that they're dead by that point. So they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna release this and get their footage out to the world, so the world can see the last things that they filmed." And the professor is telling them, like, "Hey, you ain't gonna want to release this. I'm telling you." And they're like, "Oh, it can't be that bad. Let's just sit down and watch it." And up till that point in the movie, you're like, "Oh, well, the first half of the movie was pretty graphic. How can it get worse?" It gets a hell of a lot worse. Even without, like I said, the animal cruelty, there is a lot of abuse and assault to not only the tribe people of the area, but, well, mostly the tribe people. Um, there is a female involved with this crew, and it's kind of weird because I think when I originally watched it, I kind of felt bad for her because she gets it pretty hard in the end. But after rewatching it, Mike, she was pretty complacent in all of this activity going on. So I kind of revoke that. I think she got just about what she deserved. Because like I was like, oh man, she gets it pretty bad. But there's a scene earlier in the movie where they burn a village down. They basically round the villagers up, put them in a single building, and set it on fire. And to add insult to injury, one of the guys, I think it's her boyfriend, they have sex on the ashes of the. Yeah, they're all horrible. As my girlfriend put it, they deserved to die. Um, and she enjoyed the movie from what I could tell. She never said, "Oh, it's too much, turn it off." She actually was fighting to watch the regular uncut with the turtle scene and everything. And I said, "No, no, no. It's fine. You could probably watch it on YouTube. I would not recommend it though." Um, you could probably watch this on YouTube. I maybe. I think at one point you could. Um, but yeah, this movie is definitely a hard movie to watch. Even without the animal stuff, just for the violence and the comparison at the end, he says, "Who is the real cannibal?" It's like, really. But yeah, you get the idea. They're just dumb Americans going over to a country and disrespecting. Because you got to think these cannibals that they're like, oh, they're doing horrible things over there. They're doing it because it's their way of life. It's part of their rituals. It's part of their religion. It's part of their culture. Whether or not you agree with that, that's what they've been doing for millennia. Um, and I mean, I guess you could say some of this stuff is morally wrong, morally questionable. Um, but going into an outside country and automatically trying to stake your claim, I guess, as you would call it, that's one thing. But the things that these guys do just to get B-roll footage for their shitty little documentary. There's even a point where when they find the woman with the stake through her, and they had literally just got done abusing two tribe women in front of the other girl who's on the camera with them. Um, and he's like, are you rolling? He's like, oh, the humanity. Oh, it's so horrible. Look what they did. They're doing such horrible things. And the girl gives him this look like, really? Really? um, so yeah, it's definitely an infamous movie. If you want to watch more cannibal movies along the lines, Cannibal Ferox is another very infamous one. It basically was ripping off this movie, but it did it pretty well. The cannibal genre is one that Italians have basically laid claim to. Um, in the U.S. we have our zombie films, and even they tried to do some of those, and some of those Italian zombie movies are pretty great. But when it comes to cannibal movies, trust what they're doing. They know what they're doing. There's also one, which I think it's over here. Oh, yes, right here. This is a very underrated one. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent about other cannibal movies, but we might as well since we're here. If you've never seen Slave of the Cannibal God and you want something a little less graphic and in your face than Cannibal Holocaust, I would say that this is the perfect film to start with. Ease your way up to Cannibal Holocaust. And from this, go to like maybe Green Inferno if you really want to watch Eli Roth's bullshit cannibal movie. But yeah, Slave of the Cannibal God. That's actually a really good movie. Likeable characters, good story. There's some action in it too. Cannibal Ferox. It's more shock stuff, mutilation and torture to a man's pubis. Yeah, watch out now. I'm not gonna get in trouble by you two. I'm a saint. No, I'm just playing. And yeah. So let me read the back of this movie to you in case you're not convinced, in case you want to, hear some quotes and a little bit of history. As brutal, uncompromising, and apocalyptic as they come, this is the ultimate cannibal film. Deep Red Magazine. Okay? The Citizen Kane of cannibal films. Video watchdog. Wow. The most shocking, disturbing, and amazing horror film I have ever seen. Eli Roth. Okay, so here is a film that surpasses its reputation as a shotgun blast to the senses. Cannibal Holocaust presents the found footage of a group of 4 documentary filmmakers who experienced brutal death at the hands of a savage South American tribe of flesh eaters. This footage is so intense, so graphic, and so unflinching in its realism that the director and producer of Cannibal Holocaust were arrested upon its original release and the film seized. Yes, we already went through that little bit of thing. There's also a documentary on here, where there's at least interviews about the whole experience. I don't think there's a lot with the actual cast and crew. And there's also a documentary that I watched not too long ago. I cannot remember what it's called. I think it's called Finding Cannibal Holocaust or something like that. You can probably look it up on Tubi, honestly. But they basically went and they found the locations where they filmed some of these really infamous scenes. And they found some of the original actors from the country they were in. I cannot remember exactly where they filmed this. But they basically went over to the country. They said, hey, and some of the people that were in this movie hadn't even seen the movie. So they showed the people this movie. And they're laughing. They're like, yeah, I remember that. It was stupid. We hit them with rubber clubs or something. So yeah, it's pretty wild. This movie definitely has a controversial history, but it is history nonetheless. So I implore you, if you're a big horror fan and you want to watch something new, something shocking, I would try to look for a way to stream the one without the animal cruelty. But if you're feeling brave and you think you can stomach it all, go for the fully uncut. Most horror fans would probably argue that that's the way you need to see it. But honestly, like I said, I watched it without the animal cruelty, and it still was just as powerful as if I'd seen the turtle scene. And God, I didn't want to watch the turtle scene. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully I'll have a new video soon with some more updates, some hauls. I got some plans for later on this year. We'll just have to see how those play out. There's a horror convention coming up in June, but basically by that time in the year, I just have tons of things going on. But I haven't been to a horror convention in quite a while, and I would love to go back. I have lots of stuff I'd love to get signed. But yeah, I got plenty. I really don't need to buy any more shit, except movies. But I'll look for deals. I'm actually going to be looking into doing some spring cleaning soon and going through my non horror movies and saying what can I trade, what can I get rid of. Um, but yeah, and there's some stuff I'm trying to sell, and if I can sell it, then there's the money for the horror convention. So I won't sweat that. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you want to see anything specific, any topics. Shoot, I'm game, and I posted in the community tab. I don't know if you guys were aware. I had a previous YouTube channel. I don't have access to it. That's why I have this channel now. It's basically the second horror room channel. Um, that channel though, I had a lot of uploads. I had the custom thumbnails, all that, and it was a lot of fun. But I lost access to it, and I honestly don't know how. Um, Plus, I hadn't done it in so many years. Life happened, so I figured this is a more relaxed, more personalized setting. Way to get back to that format without having to do too much excess. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.